ॐ अज्ञानतिमिरन्धस्य ज्ञानाञ्जनशलाकया चक्षुरुन्मिलितं येन तस्मै श्रीगुरवे नमः। वन्देऽहं श्रीगुरोः श्रीयुतपदकमलं श्रीगुरून् वैष्णवांश्च श्रीरूपं साग्रजातं सहगण रघुनाथान्वितं तं सजीवं साद्वैतं सावधूतं परिजनसहितं श्रीकृष्णचैतन्यदेवं श्रीराधाकृष्णपादान् सहगणललिता श्रीविशाखान्वितांश्च। हे कृष्णा करुणा सिन्धो दीनबन्धो जगत्पते गोपेश गोपिकान्त राधाकान्त नमोस्तुते। तप्त कांचन गौरांगी राधे वृंदावनेश्वरी वृषभानुसुते देवी प्रणमामि हरिप्रिये। नमो महावदान्याय कृष्णा प्रेम प्रदायिने कृष्णाय कृष्णा चैतन्य नाम्ने गौरत्विषे नमः। पञ्चतत्त्वात्मकं कृष्णं भक्तरूपस्वरूपकं भक्तावतारं भक्ताख्यं नमामि भक्तशक्तिकं। श्रीकृष्ण चैतन्य प्रभु नित्यानंद श्री अद्वैता गदाधर शिवासदि गौरभक्तवृंदा। हरे कृष्णा 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 हरे 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 राम 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 हरे हरे। जन्माद्यस्य यतोऽन्वयादितरतश्चार्थसुभिज्ञस्वराट् तेने ब्रह्महृदायादिकवये मुह्यन्ति यत्सूरयः। तेजो वारिमृदां यथा विनिमयो यत्र त्रिसर्वं मृषा धाम्ना स्वेन सदा निरस्तकुहकं सत्यं परं धीमहि। नारायणं नमस्कृत्य नरं चैव नरोत्तमं देवीं सरस्वतीं व्यासं ततो जयमुदीरयेत्। स्वस्ति अस्तु विश्वस्य खलः प्रसीदतां ध्यायन्तु भूतानि शिवं मिथो धिया। मनश्च भद्रं भजतादधोक्षजय आवेश्यतां नो मतिरप्यहेतुकी। Reading from Śrīmad-Bhāgavatam, Canto 11, Chapter 11, Verse number 5. Shri Krishna is continuing to explain what is bondage, what is liberation, what is the cause, when did it start. So he explained that it is not real, and although it is not real, yet it appears just like things appear in the dream. So that is because of the Durghat Dustark Shakti of Maya. So it is a difficult task to make us understand this. It's like if somebody is dreaming, just imagine that you are dreaming, and your dream somebody tells that what you are dreaming is wrong. It's not real. Will you believe him? He says, what are you saying? So this is what is being said here. So to make this understand in our this conditioned state that we are conditioned, it's very difficult. But this is the effort which is being made by the Shastra. So let's bear it, if we can get it. So he says, At baddhasya muktasya vailakshinyam vadami te vruddha dharmino stata sthitayor ek dharmini. So one of the question was asked that how is that ekasya eva jivasya eva mahamate mamansasya jivasya mahamate bandho avidya anadi vidya cha tathetara. So he spoke about ekasya jivasya, but now when he says baddha and mukta, he is talking about those who are bound, one type, and those who are liberated, another type. What is the difference between them? So baddha means who is bound, that is Jiva, and mukta means Paramatma, Bhagavan. So Vailakshanyam vadamite, I will explain their distinction, different characteristics. He says Viruddha dharmino stata, they have opposite characteristics. So Jiva is Paratantra, is controlled by Maya. Bhagavan is Swatantra. Jiva is Dukhi. Bhagavan is Sukhi. Jiva is limited. Bhagavan is unlimited. So they have opposite characteristics, but they are together. Sthitayor ek dharmini. They exist together, although they have opposite characteristics. So this is what he wants to describe now. Yaduktam kairva nyayeta lakshanairiti tatra. So it was asked by Uddhava that how are these to be understood? So what is the symptoms by which we can recognize who is bound, who is not bound? So that is being described here. Athaiti ayam jivo baddha. Ayam jivo mukta iti yatha uchyate. Tatha jivatma baddha paramatma mukta iti api. So he says that just like you say sometimes that this jiva is conditioned, this jiva is liberated. Sometimes we say like that. He says in the same way it is also said that jiva is bound and Paramatma is liberated. So that is their characteristics. In case of jiva, he can be bound and then become liberated, but Paramatma is always liberated. That is also the distinction. So apahat papma iti yad uchyate eva iti atah prathmam jivatma paramatmanor vailakshanyam akarne itya. So it is said that Paramatma is apahat papma, that he is free from sin, vijar, vishok, vimrityu. He does not have old age, grief, death, hunger, thirst. These are described as the characteristic of Paramatma. Sometimes this is also applied on Atma. So here he is taking for Paramatma. This is from Chandogya Upanishad. So he says this has been spoken in the Upanishad. So first hear from me the distinct characteristics of Jivatma and Paramatma. Sardhadvaine and 2.5 verses. Viruddha dharmino shoka ananda dharmavato. So they have opposite characteristics. Jiva is in grief, Paramatma is in ananda, is in bliss. So this is their characteristic. Ekasmin dharmini, but they are in one dharmi. They are together in one place. So what is that one place? Body. So in the body, Jivatma is also there, Paramatma is also there. They both are situated. But although they are situated together, niyamya niyantritvena sthitayo. One is the controller, other is the controlled. So that distinction remains. So just because two things are in the same place does not mean that they are equal. So sometimes you are sitting on your seat, one ant also comes there. So that does not mean that ant is having same power as you, although sitting in the same seat. So in the same way, Paramatma and Atma, they are situated together like friends. And Krishna even says that he is my friend. So Hridaya Sarvabhutanam, Hridaya Swarjun Tishtati. That he is Sruhit, he is a bosom friend, dear friend. So all the friend, and generally we say that friendship is between equals, but it's also between unequals because of his compassion. So he calls the Jiva as friend. So this is explained by an example. So it says, Suparna Vetau Sadrishau Sakhayau Yadrichaya Etau Kritanidau Chavrikshe Ekastayo Khadati Pipalannam Manyo Nirannopi Balen Bhuyan. That there are two birds. Suparna means birds, and they are similar, Sadrishau and Sakhayau, and they are friends. Yadrichaya Etau Kritanidau. Somehow or other they are together in the same nest on a tree. So there is a tree, and in the tree there is a nest. And in the nest these both birds are there together. But the distinction is there that Ekastayo Khadati Pipalannam. One is eating the fruits of the tree, another one is fasting. Niranna. And although he is fasting, he is powerful. Balena Bhuyan. We would think that one who is eating would be powerful. So he says one who does not eat is stronger. One who is eating is weak. So this is a famous sloka in the Upanishad, Do Saparnau Sayuja Sakhaya Samana Vriksham Parisasya Jate Tayoranyo Piplam Svaduvatyanya Rasnana Vichakashiti. So it's just like a mirror of that sloka. Suparno Vrikshat Pakshino Iva Dehat Pragbhuto. So these words, just like the birds are separate from the tree. Two birds are sitting on the tree, but they are not tree. So in the same way, these two birds are sitting on the body, they are not the body. That is to be understood. So neither Atma is body nor Paramatma is body. Body is just there, Adhisthan. Sadrishau Chidrupatvat. They are similar. How are they similar? Just previous sloka he said that they have opposite characteristics. Now he said they are similar. So there is one similarity, and that is both are conscious being. Both have awareness. Jiva also has Paramatma has. But the object of awareness is different. Jiva is aware of the material things. He is aware of spiritual. So, Sakhayav, they are friends. Why are they friends? So, friends are those who eat together, live together, play together, but they are not eating. Only one is eating, other is watching. So he says, Saha Yogat, just because they are being together in one place. So some friendship develops. You travel in a train, long journey, 24 hours, you make friendship with the person next door. Then you open your lunch box and you say, have some? He says, no, I don't want. So you are eating, he is not eating. So like that, Jiva opens his lunch box, he eats. Paramatma says, no, I am on fast. So Yadrichya iti, so they are together on the tree. Vriksha tayor ashakti anashakti purvak nida karne. So they are in a nest, but one is attached to the nest, another is not attached to the nest. This is also the difference between them. Tadiya pippalanna bhojitva bhojitvecha, and therefore one is eating the fruit and other is not eating the fruit. Hetua bhava ukta. So what is the reason that one is eating and one is not eating and they are together? What has caused it? So this is important, and he says for this there is no hetu. Because it is anadi. In the previous sloka number 3 and 4 he spoke about anadi avidya. So avidya adya me vinirmite and anadi avidya vidya cha tatha itara. So because it is anadi, therefore it is hetu abhava ukta. So this word yadricha here is indicative. Yadricha is used when there doesn't seem to be any cause of something, then we say yadricha. Yadrichaya mat katha shraddha yavan jayate. If suddenly somebody gets shraddha in katha of Bhagavan, there is no real reason for that. Or you get association of devotee, so yadrichaya. So here also the word yadricha is used. So this is to indicate that you cannot trace any reason why they are together and why they are in this tree. Why one is eating, other is not eating. Means why one is conditioned and other is not conditioned. There is no reason for this. No hetu. Maya vrishyate iti vriksho deha. So tree is called, why tree is called tree? Because you cut it. There is a root called ovrishu. From also you get the word vrishik. Vrishik means scorpion. Scorpion also bites, cuts you. So tree is also called vriksha. So he says the body is like the tree because it is also cut by Maya. Because it dies after some time, that is the meaning, cutting. So therefore he says Maya vrishyate iti vrikshodeha. It is cut by Maya, means time. That in due course of time it comes to an end. So that is the body. Urdha moolam avakshakam vriksham yoveda samprati iti shrute. So Shruti also describes that this material world is also compared to a tree. That urdha moolam avakshakam vriksham yoveda samprati. It has root upwards, branches downwards. One who knows this. In Bhagavad Gita, Sri Krishna also says Murdha moolam adha sakam sattvam prahuravvayam. 15th chapter. It has root upwards, branches downwards. This is the imperishable tree of the samsara. So body is part of that. Tasmin vrikshe asakti anasakti purvam kritam niketanam hridaya rupam yabhyam. So they have made their residence in the heart. So heart is the place where Atma is residing, and therefore heart is compared to like a nest. Body is the tree, heart is the nest. Nest is something which is hidden. You go inside that. So Atma and Paramatma, they are sitting. Krishna also says, Sarvasya chaham hridi sannivishtam. I am in everybody's heart. So the Jiva is also there. That's why they are friends. So Jiva is sitting very next to Paramatma. That's good news. But we don't look. We don't see him. So Hridaya Rupam Niketanam, the residence is the Hridaya. Yabhyam to. Tayor madhye eko jiva piplanam pipalo asvatho dehas tasmin adaniyam karma phalam ityartha. And out of that one is eating the food in the form of pipala. Pipala means this asvatha tree. They get pipali, small fruit comes on that. There is hardly much, nothing much in it. The crows eat it. So one is eating and the other one is not eating. So what does it mean that he is eating? He says adaniyam karma phalam iti artha khadati bhunkate. So is making him experience the karma phala. That is the eating. So that's what it means, khadati bhunkte. Anya Paramatma niranna. The other one who is Paramatma is without food. Abhokta api nijananda tripto balena jnanadi shaktya bhuyanadika. So although he is not eating, so generally we say that Bhagavan is the bhokta. Bhokta preritaram cha. But here he is described as abhokta. Means he does not experience the pain and pleasures of the body. That is the meaning. The Jiva, he is the one who experiences. So why is that? Because he is Nijananda Tripta. He is satisfied with his own bliss. Balena Jnanadi Shakti. And he is superior to the Jiva because he has strength, Jnana, Vairagya, Shakti, Aishwarya. So he is superior to that. And this is also stated in the Shruti. Dva suparna sayuja sakhaya samanam vriksham parisasva jate tayoranya pippalam swaduvatti anasnan anyo vichakashiti. It's basically this Shruti mantra has exactly the same meaning. There is no difference. Sa paramatma atmanam swamanyam jivam cha veda na pippalam karmaphalam atti. So that Paramatma knows himself and knows the Jiva also, and he does not eat the fruit. Fruit means the fruit of the karma, because body is the one which performs karma. Karma is generated by the action of the body. 3 types: mansik, vachik and daihik. So they are all accruing to the Jiva, not to Paramatma, because he is detached from it. Sa Pipalada. So therefore Jiva is called Pipalada. Pipalada Jivastu natu swam anyam cha veda. So Bhagavan knows himself and he knows the Jiva. And Jiva, he is busy eating the fruit, therefore he neither knows him nor Bhagavan. Because when you eat, you are so absorbed in the food, you know nothing else. Imagine you are very, very hungry and you get your favorite food, then nothing else. Forget. So Jiva is absorbed in the food like that. Because sometimes happiness, sometimes distress, if nothing else, tired, sleep. Right? So yukta sa nitya baddha. So he is nitya baddha. Oh, this is next verse. This is not the commentary to this. Atmanamanyam cha saved vidvan apippalado na tu pippaladaha yo vidya yuksatu nitya baddho vidyamayo ya satu nitya muktaha. So he describes again the difference between them. He says Atmanam anyam cha sa veda vidvan apippalada. So one who is not eating the fruit apippalada, he is the vidwan, he is knowledgeable. And he knows Atmanam anyam cha, he knows himself and the other. But one who is eating natu pippalada, he does not know. And then another difference is that Jiva is bound and Paramatma is free. Why is that? Because Jiva is under the influence of avidya. So therefore it says yo avidya yuk satu nitya baddha. One who is endowed with avidya, ignorance, he is bound. So generally we use the word nitya baddha and nitya mukta in the common terminology. But nitya here means anadi. Otherwise the word nitya means which has no beginning and no end. That is called nitya. But because Jiva can become liberated, as we read, vidya cha tathaitara, by vidya you become liberated. So therefore the meaning of nitya has to be constricted to beginningless. So therefore he is called nitya baddha. It sounds better to say nitya baddha than nadi baddha. You can rhyme it with nitya mukta. So the Jiva can feel happy. You are nitya mukta, I am also nitya baddha. At least we have nitya in common. So who is nitya mukta? Is Bhagavan, is nitya mukta. Why? Because vidyamaya. That he is full of vidya. He is omniscient. And vidya here does not mean vidya of maya. So although the word vidya is used, and vidya also came earlier, where he says that he has got two shaktis, vidya vidya mamtanu, vidya uddhav sarirana. So this is another thing. Many times same word is used but the meaning is different. Just like Krishna says in Bhagavad Gita, Atmaibhi Atmano Bandhu, Atmaibhi Puratman. So although you can try and say that you are your own friend and you are your own enemy, but the meaning is that your mind is the friend and mind is the enemy. Otherwise, if you don't give this meaning, the next sloka, that Bandhur Atma Atmano Yasena Atmaiva Atmana Jita. How you control yourself by yourself. So meanings, even same sloka, same word can have different meaning. So here also earlier the word vidya was used in relationship with Jiva. There vidya meant the vritti of maya, the gyan vritti, the gyan part of maya is called vidya. Here also the word vidya is used, vidya mayo yasatu nitya yukta mukta. This vidya is antaranga shakti of Bhagavan. This is not maya shakti. So this will also be explained in the commentary. So sa Paramatma Atmanam Swam Anyam Jivam Cha Vedana Pippala Karma Phalamatti. The Paramatma knows himself and the Jiva, he doesn't eat the fruits in the form of karma. But Jiva is eating the fruits and he does not know himself. or Paramatma. So Yukta sa Nitya Baddha Jiva, Jiva is Nitya Baddha and Vidyamaya. So now he makes this very clear, the meaning of the word Vidyamaya. He says Vidya Shabdena Atra Antranga Chit Shakti Ruchyatena Tu Bahiranga Maya Shakti Vritti. So here the word Vidya refers to the internal potency, the Chit Shakti. So this Vidya is not Jada Vidya. This is the conscious potency. In the material world, when we have knowledge, what is that knowledge? It's only a state of Chitta or mind. It's a Mansik Vritti. And because mind is material, Mansik Vritti is also material. So therefore this is material knowledge. But Bhagavan's knowledge is not material. So although the same word is used, so we have to know this distinction. Tathacha Gopal Tapni Shruti. So he cites Gopal Tapni Shruti in his support. Dvav Suparnau Bhavatau Brahmano Ansabhuta. That there are two birds, Brahmana and his Ansa. Tatha itaro bhokta bhavati. The other one is the one who is the bhokta. Anyo hi sakshi bhavati. One is only a witness. So that is Paramatma. Other is having the experience of happiness and misery. That is Jiva. Bhokta, bhoktri, bhoktaro, vriksha dharme tishtata. So these two, the bhoktri and a bhoktara, one who is enjoying and one who is not, they are situated on the tree. Yatra vidya vidyena vidamo vidya vidya bhyam bhinno vidyamayo hiya sakatham. So this all quotation from Gopal Tapni Shruti. He says there is no vidya or avidya. So there means in Bhagavan. So there is vidya and avidya related to Jiva, and in Bhagavan he says there is no vidya and avidya. But there is vidya there also, so he says it is different. So that is made here. Vidya, avidya bhyam bhinno vidyamayo hiya sakat. So Bhagavan is called Vidyamaya, means he consists of Vidya, his Swarup is Vidya, but this is separate from Vidya and avidya. So how is it that he is Vidyamaya and separate from Vidya and avidya? That is only possible when we understand that his Vidya is not material. So since he is separate from this, he says sa katham vishayi bhavati. So then how is it possible that he is going to relish the material sense objects? And chaya tapo yatra na gridhra paksho iti chaya tapo avidya vidya iti vyakya. Then it is also stated in Bhāgavatam that there is no chaya and atap. So chaya means shadow, atap means sunlight. So it is referring to avidya and vidya. Chaya means avidya, darkness, ignorance. Atap means light, knowledge. So these do not exist in him, in Paramatma. He is free from that. Dehastopina dehasto vidwan swapnad yathothitah adehastopi dehastha kumati swapna drigyatha. So now is interesting. He says one who is in knowledge, he is although situated in body, is not situated in body. And one who is in ignorance, he says although he is not situated in the body, but he is situated in the body. So for Paramatma, he takes that he is actually not situated in the body, but he is there. So meaning is that he is not attached to it, but still is there. And the other one, although he is also like him, but he is actually situated because of attachment. So the real thing is this attachment, asakti. That is the only thing which needs to be given up. If that can be given up, the problem is solved. So therefore, he gives one example that there is a person who is just come out of the dream, swapnotthita, swapnad yatha utthita, but he is not completely come out of it. So he is like that person that although he is not in the dream, but as if still he is in the dream. So he is not in the dream state, he is awake, but still he is as if in dream, like when you just wake up and you're thinking of the dream. So you are as if you are in the dream state. So Paramatma is like that. Means he is not in dream, but yet he is there. And the Jiva, he is like in the dream. So when he is in the dream, he is also not there, but he thinks he is there. So therefore he is called Kumati. Means he is confused. अथ बद्ध मुक्तयोर जीवयोर मिथो वैलक्षण्यम आह. So he is describing the distinction between two jivas. One who has become liberated. Now he is not talking about Paramatma here. From the example, he applies it to the jiva who has become liberated. Means liberated means Jivan Mukta. So one who is Jivan Mukta, he is still in the body, yet he is not in the body. And one who is bound by the body is not in the body, yet he is in the body. Dehasthopi dehastho. Dehasthopi iti dasbi. So in 10 sloka he will give the distinction. Tatra tribhi katham vartayata iti asya uttamah. So in the 3 slokas he is describing how does a liberated person function in the body and how a conditioned person function in the body. So that is being described in 3 verses. Vidwan muktaha. The word vidwan here means the liberated person. Samskar vashena dehasthopi dehastho na bhavati yatha swapnad utthita badhita anuvritti nyayena smryamane swapna dehe sthito api tatrastho na bhavati. Tadagat sukha dukkhayo swanishtatvena apratite. So he is saying that person who has become liberated, so somebody becomes Jivan Mukta, so is he not going to eat? Is he not going to sleep? He eats and sleeps. So how does he eat and sleep if he is not under the influence of karma yet? He is beyond karma. So he still has the samskaras. Suppose when you were conditioned, your favorite food was pasta. Now you become liberated. You become Jivan Mukta. You think your favorite food will change suddenly to chapati? No, you'll still like pasta because you have the samskaras. But you will not be attached to it. You will still relish it, but in a detached manner. So this is what he is saying here, samskar vasena. Dehasthopi dehastho na bhavati. That although he is situated in the body, yet he is not situated. Means he is not controlled by, he is not conditioned by the body anymore. Although he still functions, he is still going to live who knows how many years, but he functions like that. The example he gives is like a person who has woken up from the dream. So you wake up from the dream and you are having a very intense dream. So you have come out of the dream, but the dream is still having some memory in that. So that is called Badhita Anuvritti Nyaya. That you are not in the dream state, but you still are as if in the dream. Just as this person is not conditioned by the body, but the samskaras are making him function, so it looks as if he is still in the body. So he has woken up, he is not in the dream state, he is in the wakeful state, but as if the dream is still following into the wakeful state. So that is the example given, that how a Jivan Mukta feels. So he remembers the dream, Swapna Dehe Sthitopi Tatrastho Na Bhavati. So in that sense, he is like still as if he is in the dream body, but he is not in the dream body, he is awake. But because he is remembering the dream very intensely, so it looks like as if he is in the dream body. Tadgat sukha dukkhyo swanishtatvena apratite. Because the happiness and distress which are coming in the body, he knows that they are not in himself. It also does not mean that liberated person does not feel pain in the body or he does not feel happiness. He also feels, but he knows that they belong to the body, not to me. That is the distinction. Otherwise, sometimes people think the one who is liberated doesn't feel anything. And that's not true. That is also possible. There is also state like that you go, just like Mahaprabhu goes into internal state, then nothing, he is not aware of that. That is another state. But generally when they are functioning like any other else, they also feel. But they know that it is external to them. So this is the Jivan Mukta state. Tatha vastuto na dehasthopi kumatira vidvan dehastha. And in the other way, the Jiva, even the conditioned Jiva, is not in the body because it is not having any contact with the body. If something is somewhere, if there is a person in the room, then he is in touch with the room. If a book is on the table, it is in having a contact with the table. So Jiva is not having any contact like that with the body, yet he is in the body. So therefore he says, Dehasthopi na dehastha. Na dehasthopi dehastha. Na dehasthopi kumatira vidvan dehastha. So tan nimitta sukh dukh bhag. And therefore it experiences the happiness and suffering of the body. Although they do not belong to him, yet he thinks they are him. Just as in case of Jivan Mukta, he knows that they don't belong to him and he experiences them, but he knows they are not his. Here they don't belong to him, but he thinks they are his. Yatha swapnadrik swapnad swapnan pasyan swapna dehagata. Just like a person who is dreaming, so he is in the dream state, but he is not really in the dream body, but he thinks he is in the dream body. So na dehasthopi dehastha. So exactly the same thing is happening with this body. So now he describes again more about the distinction between the liberated and the bound person. Indriya artheshu Gunairapi guneshu cha griyamaneshu aham kuryat navidvan yastu avikriyaha. So he says that one who is Vidwan means, Vidwan here means situated in knowledge, which means the person who is liberated, Mukta Purusha. So he says that this person, he is avikriya. There is no vikar, there is no transformation, no change happen in him. Means there are no rag and dvesh. Rag dvesh viyukta istu indriyan visheshcharan. So his senses, they function in the sense objects, indriyair indriyarthesu, and gunairapi guneshu. So they function griyamanesu ahankuryat, but he has the sense of ahankar, that I am doing this, belongs to me. No, this is Vidwan, so he says ahankuryat na. So he does not do the ahankara. So aham bhokta, he does not have this buddhi that I am the enjoyer. And therefore he remains separate from it. So guna gune suvartante iti matvan sajjate. So he sees that the senses are functioning in the sense objects. And therefore he does not become implicated in them. So this is how the Jivan Mukta functions. Indriyair gunair indriyarthesu api guneshu grihamaneshu nahan kuryat. So although he is having the experience of the sense objects through his senses, but he does not identify with them. What does it mean? Aham granami iti matim na kuryat. He does not think that I am experiencing it myself, but the senses are acting in the senses. Nirahankaritva lingam avikriya. What is the symptom of such a person who does not have this type of ahankar? He says avikriya. That the changes which happen in people out of raga and dvesha, they do not happen. Tattad vikara rahita. No change. And vikarvatvepi na kimapi karomi iti vachaeva bruvan kapti mahabandhoge. He says then there is another person who is called kapati. Kapati means cheater. So he is mithyachara sauchyate. So he is actually having vikar himself in him. But he says, look, I don't do anything. He only speaks, but inside he is tormented. So he says such a person is kapati and he is mahabadha. He is not only bound, he is worse than normal people who will at least say that, okay, we are conditioned. So he is one step above the bound, that is mahabound. Means it will be very difficult to enlighten such a person. Gyanlav durvigdhatam brahmaha naram naranjati. So even Brahma cannot help such a person because he thinks he knows already. So mithyachara se uchyate. So that is also, he is giving the distinction. Devadhine shariresmin gunbhavyena karmana vartamano budhestatra kartasmiti nibadhyate. So then opposite of this person who says guna gunesu vartante iti matvana sajjate is person who says I am the doer, abudha. He is not intelligent. So he is under the influence of Daiva, Daivadhine Shariresmin Gumbhavena Karmana Vartmana. So by his past karma, deva here means fate, karma. So his senses are performing action according to the karma. Because how does our body work? That we have past karma which has given samskaras inside us and created a situation outside. This is how karma functions in two ways. Jiva Maya, Gun Maya. One outside, one inside. Together they have friendship. He says, I will go inside and change the mind of this person. You be outside, so he will be attracted. This is how it works. And you don't know. You think you are doing it. No, I made this decision, what are you saying? But actually, all this is Daivadhina. Daivam Chatra Panchama. So it's all happening because of the karma and Gun Bhavyena Karmana. So because of the senses, they function in the body. Your mind, your intelligence, they become influenced by the past karma. And then you say, oh, I did it. So that's why Krishna says, Adhisthanam tatha karta karanam cha prathak vidam vivudhasya prathak chesta daivam chatra pancham nyayam va vipritam va panchayate tasya hetu. So these are the 5 causes, but if you say, I am only the doer, so he says that is what foolishness is. So this is what is called abudha, and because of that he becomes bound. Daivadhine. Daiva here means purva karma, what you call as fate. So fate is very fatal. Karmadhine asmin sarire vartmane gunair indriyair bhavyene kritena karmana. So all the karma is happening because of the guna. Prakrita kriyamanani gunai karmani sarvasha ahankar vimudhatma karta hamiti manyate. So everything is happening because of the gunas of the prakriti, which gives you the body, mind, intelligence, everything. But out of ahankara we say that I am the doer. And this is called vimudhatma. That you are bewildered. And that is the cause of bondage. Evam viraktaha shayane asana atana majjane darshana sparshana grana bhojana shravanadishu. So one who is virakta, so he is also sleeping, he also sits, he also walks around, he also takes a dip in the river, he sees, he touches, he smells, he eats, he hears. So he performs all these activities, but he remains detached to all that. And the other one becomes bound. So etadeva kuta, so kim bhunjita iti yaduktam tatra. How does he eat or relish? That is being explained in the 3 slokas. So in the previous 3 slokas he explained how does he function. Na tatha baddhyate, so he is not bound like the previous one. Iti shayana asanadishu yatha vidvans tatra tatra asaktya tattad upaya uttabhyam harshokabhyam baddhyate tatha ne baddhyate. So just as an ignorant person, when he is performing the same activities which the knowledgeable person or liberated person performs, so he becomes bound by them because of his attachment. And because of attachment, then whatever the outcome of those activity comes in the form of happiness or grief, then he becomes bound by that. So happiness is also binding as grief is binding. Sattva guna also binds. Sukh sangena vadhanati, jnana sangena changa. Although we think that sattva is liberating, sattva also binds. That's why you have to give up Vidya also. Because that also has little bondage along with it. But it's also Maya. It's a nice bondage, appealing. So he is not bound with this. Tena badhita anuvritti nyayana kinchin matra har sokvatvepi nakshati. So he again uses this terminology, badhita anuvritti. This is word used very much in Vedanta. So same badhita anuvritti means that you are awake, but you are still having some influence of your dream state. So like that, one person who is liberated, but still is in this body, so it is like badhita anuvritti, means what he was doing before, what he liked before, and he felt happy with those things. With that he may feel some happiness, etc. But that does not bind him, because he is out of that state. So that's why he says that kinchin matra harsha shokavatvepi, that if there is some little happiness or grief, there is no harm to that person. In other words, it's not that he has absolutely no emotions. So for the Vairagi, one who is Gyan Marg, he will have very little emotions. One who is a devotee, he will have two types. One emotion in relationship with Krishna, other may be Badhita Anuvritti type, but they are very minimal. They are not influencing him. What devotee is influenced with the emotions which are in relationship with Krishna and his devotees, his abode, things related with Krishna. So those are different types of emotions, although they look similar. So nakshati, so therefore there is no harm to this person. Yato virakta, why? Because he is renounced, detached. Tatra tatra visheshu gunan indriyani adayan bhojayan tat sakshittvena vartmana natu swayamadan. So he says, being situated in all those particular sense objects, this person is as if feeding the senses, but not himself. The word adayan was used earlier in the which sloka came adayan? Adayan.
Coming in next, verse number 12, Adayan.
Okay, it's talking about the word next sloka. So Adayan is by applying nich on adadhatu. It should be adan while eating, but the word used is adayan, which means while feeding or making someone else eat. So it is as if he is feeding the senses, because he knows he is separate from the senses or the body. So that's why the word adayan has been used in the next verse, but he is pulling that into this sloka also. So what does it mean? That he remains as a sakshi, as a witness, and does not become implicated in the process. So this is his commentary. We'll stop if there is any question to ask. Sandeep.
Pranam Babaji Maharaj. My question is regarding the sixth shloka. So, what is the context of saying that Urdhva Mula Adha Shakyam? I'm not able to follow that. In what context this Bhagavad Gita 15th chapter shloka is cited? Because he's talking about two birds on a tree.
Because this sansar is also treated like a tree, and body is part of that. Body is mini samsara. So body was called tree here, Kritanidaucha Vriksha. So in that sense he is comparing. Rakesh.
Pranam Babaji. So this knowledge, the vidya that you're speaking of, that is binding. So this spiritual knowledge. So when you talk about spiritual knowledge, there may be misinterpretations or mistranslations. So would that be also falling under the category of knowledge that's like material knowledge? Even if it's spiritual knowledge, but if it's not under, like for example, you're saying that there's certain words that are commonly mistranslated, and here he emphasizing like I think the word that was used before, maybe it must have been maybe 2 or 3 slokas before, but anyways, I forget the word, but it also meant anadi.
Nitya.
Beginningless.
Nitya.
Nitya, yeah.
Yeah. So knowledge, there are 2 words in English when we translate. One is called cognition, other is called knowledge. So technically speaking, cognition is any cognition which is wrong or right. If it is right cognition, then we call it knowledge. So this is how technically speaking, but then we can also use, or people generally use word knowledge for both. So then if you take it that way, means making no difference between cognition and knowledge, then knowledge is of 2 types. Valid knowledge, wrong knowledge. So wrong knowledge is also knowledge, valid knowledge is also knowledge. So if you misinterpret, yes, it is knowledge, but it is wrong knowledge. And wrong knowledge is called avidya. So that's the distinction we should know.
A question from Satyanarayana dasa. Dear Babaji, please accept my pranams. You said that there is no reason for the conditioned state of the soul, as it is conditioned groundlessness without beginning, anadi, or eternally bound, nitya baddha. I do not argue against this because it is supported by the Shastras. What kind of kingdom of God would it be if countless jivas were to fall from it? That does not make sense. However, this groundlessness is very hard to understand. Could you please define this groundlessness in an understandable way?
Groundlessness?
Groundlessness.
What is that groundlessness? In relationship to what?
In relationship to the anadibadhatva of jiva.
Yeah, it has no beginning. So if it has no beginning, means there is no cause for it. Maybe that's for what he is using the word groundlessness. At least I didn't use that word. So if you are saying groundlessness means causeless, then that's what it means. I said this yesterday also, the word anadi, beginningless, also implies causeless. Because anything which has a cause has a beginning. And anything which has a beginning has a cause. They are related. So anadi therefore is causeless, means nothing caused it. Causeless means that it is not caused by anything. Because if it is caused by something, it will have a beginning. When it was caused, before that it was not like that. So therefore that's, I don't know if this is using the word groundlessness in that sense. So that's what anadi is.
Yes, I mean also causelessness. Sorry for this word, my English is not very good. But we are learn everything have cause. So for it's hard to understand.
Where did you learn that everything has a cause?
Yes, in the material way, not in a spiritual way.
No, material way means material way, but Jiva is not material.
Yes, everything has a reason, so I think in this way, then for my mind it's very hard to understand that something is without reason.
So if your mind could understand, then we would not need Shastra. If you could understand everything with your mind, then Shastra is not needed. Shastra is there to teach us something which our mind by itself cannot reach at, that understanding. So therefore Shastra is to uplift our understanding beyond what we can get through simply with our mind. So when we say everything has a reason, that is only for material things, not for spiritual things.
Yes, I agree. I think only maybe you have a definition what can we bring more nearly on the vision, how I can see this. For this reason I ask this.
No.
I'm clear that I can't understand this with my mind, with my material mind.
Okay, now I ask you one question.
Yes.
So suppose, do you cook sometime?
Yes.
So now what do you cook?
Different things, sabji, rice.
Okay, so you cook sabji, suppose. Now before you cook that sabji, there was absence of that cooked sabji, right?
Yes.
So how long that absence of that cooked sabji has been there?
I don't know.
No, think with your mind. Does it have a beginning that at a particular point it began? No, that absence of that cooked sabji which you are going to cook has no beginning. It never began. And therefore it was not caused. Was that absence caused by something? No. It is causeless. So before you cook something, there is absence. Or suppose you write a letter. Before you wrote it, there is an absence of that written line or letter or anything. How long that absence has been there? No beginning. It never began. You cannot think that at a particular point it started. Because if it started, then before that sabji must have been there, cooked sabji. And then it became absent.
Yeah.
But that's not true.
Yes, yes.
So think like
Yes,
that, meditate like this. Whenever you cook, then think that how long this food which I am cooking has not been there.
Okay, I understand. Yes, it's very nice. You explained very nice. Thank you very much. All the best. Hare Krishna.
Thanks.
Babaji, this Bhāditānuvritti he is using, in the sense of devotee, this he is referring to post-priti, or I am not understanding?
For anybody.
Yeah, because it is quite difficult to understand that they still have some kind of harsha and all this, but it is not really affecting them.
What is the difficulty?
I mean, I understand they are seeing it as sakshi, but then for this harsha to happen, how will happiness happen without any kind of ahankara? I am not understanding.
That's why I said that even if it is happening with some ahankara, it says nakshati, it doesn't cause any problem.
Okay, so it can be in any stage we talk from bhakti. In bhakti, not necessarily that it is mentioned that once.
No, Bhāditānuvritti is only when you have become liberated.
Okay.
Yeah. Then only Bhāditānuvritti applies, because Bhāditānuvritti means you are out of sleep, which means you are awakened, not before that.
Got it.
Okay.